Justin Rose, thanks very much for joining us and agreeing to have a little chat before you get underway. It's Dom Hollier here. Terrific start, obviously, to the tournament. Just tell me, you're into your 40s now. Has your warm-up routine changed at all as you've got older, or has it pretty much stayed the same throughout your career?
I think the bit that you see on the range and the chipping and the putting has pretty much stayed the same, but I think what has maybe increased is the time before I get out to the range, the time in the gym, sort of making sure I'm stretched and warmed up and done all like the little mini workout, just kind of continue to, like maintenance of the fitness and the body, but yeah, just sort of all that injury prevention stuff that's really, really important, which is, just takes tons of discipline, nothing fancy about it, but just needs that extra maybe 30 minutes prior to getting out to the range. So that's probably the only thing that's really, I'd say, increased out through the years. No longer am I, tying my shoes in the car park and getting on the first tee.
Hello, Justin. Laura Davies here. I was just wondering.
Hiya, Laura.
Hello there. You've had your practice on the range. You've seen the wind. You've got a good feel for the conditions now. Have you got a number you're looking for today, or just get out there and play golf and see what happens?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, my little boy said to me, "Come on, Dad, keep the pedal down. None of this even par nonsense after a good start." So I'm under strict instructions. But yeah, you're right. The golf course changes. It is blustery. Yesterday everything went my way, and obviously that doesn't always happen for 72. But yeah, just kind of, I think for me, just trying to stay in that beautiful sort of like rhythm that I was in yesterday. That's the ideal. And then obviously the scoring often takes care of itself. And if it doesn't, stay patient and just wait for that run. But yeah, definitely. It's a tricky little golf course, this one, and definitely when it's blustery, the fairways certainly aren't wide. But just do a good job of putting it in play and then take it from there.
Justin, Andrew Coulthard here. I'm loving how relaxed you are just before you go out there onto the first tee, but unfortunately didn't make it to Whistling Straits last time for the Ryder Cup. There's a massive need for a bit of experience in the team this year. How much are you looking forward to getting into that side, and what will it mean to you?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that was, in some ways it was a kick up the backside, not getting into the team, and it was clearly a tough team to be a part of, convincing win for the Americans. But I think, home soil is a huge advantage in the Ryder Cup, so absolutely, it's been a big goal of mine to try and make that team. Obviously, the way I'm playing, I feel like I'm on track, but, clearly I'm not in the team in terms of points, so still a lot of work to do. But yeah, I like the way the team's shaping up, though, to be honest with you. I think the engine room of the team, I think, is playing pretty well all in all, and there's some great young players coming through, obviously stateside as well. Ludwig Berg, I think he's exciting to watch, and obviously, lots of guys, Yannick Paul and all the boys are playing well, vying for those, remaining 5-6 spots.
Justin, obviously you won the Betfred British Masters way back when. I know it was an emotional victory for you. Your dad managed to be there for that one. What would it mean for you? Well, listen, long way to go, I know. What would it mean for you to win this title again if it was possible come Sunday?
Yeah, obviously, it would mean a lot. First time, well, it might actually be, could be sort of a bit of full circle. Winning in front of the kids, maybe if they're able to make it up here Sunday. There's lots of special reasons to win a golf tournament always, do you know what I mean? Just generally for yourself because of all the hard work one puts in, but anytime you can share it with family, it makes it even more special.
Justin, we saw yesterday around the greens, that's really thick grass, the stuff that you're chipping out of now. Have you got a technique you're using? Because we've seen some of them just not coming out properly. It's almost a duff, and is it as wiry as it looks?
It is, and every lie is inconsistent, and one thing my caddy Josh is really, really good at is reading lies around the greens, and we'll have a lot of dialogue around, whether it's an open face 56 or square face 60, or if, you play it like a bunker shot, or, in this example here, maybe leaving the club in. So an example of that would be kind of a long backswing and a short follow through, but quite often that gives the ball a little bit of momentum out of the lie.
Justin, first win in 4 years over there back in February, going to give you some positive vibes. You're the first ever European to win the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, that was obviously just winning again was obviously first and foremost. There's nothing like winning for the confidence. 4 years slips by pretty quickly out here. I was obviously keenly aware that I hadn't played great for a while, so to kind of have a lead there and trying to finish it off that Monday morning, I was kind of pleased with how I felt under the pressure of all that. So that was nice to know that doesn't necessarily disappear. But to win at an iconic place like Pebble was unbelievable, and I think has set me up for a good season.
Yeah, you've pretty much guaranteed your place in the top 50, haven't you, of the FedEx Cup rankings, which I know is important, obviously going ahead to next season, and then the Tour Championship potentially to look forward to, a former FedEx Cup champion. Exciting prospects lie ahead with that possibility of the Ryder Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something to play for in this game. But yeah, there's some, that's obviously top 30, getting to Eastlake. That's a golf course I love, and obviously with the format there, anybody who makes it to Eastlake has an opportunity to win the FedEx Cup. So very much kind of that's, well, I guess front and centre obviously is this little run in the UK through to the Open Championship. We'll kind of take care of business there. That's sort of, you know, the last few weeks here are all designed around playing well, I guess, at Hoylake. And then you turn your attentions to the FedEx after that, and then onto the Ryder Cup. So lots of like mini goals between now and then. So
you've moved out of the thickish rough and just clipped a few there off the putting surface. Is that deliberate? Is that something you always do?
Yeah, that challenges the technique. You know what I mean? I just feel like you know, it kind of tells you where the bottom of the shot is. There's actually a lot more. If you've got good technique, there's a lot more margin than you think when you're chipping off a tight lie. But you know, obviously, somewhat. Just, you know, if I was to chip there for 10 minutes last night, it was more like, okay, links golf in mine. I've actually got new wedges in the bag this week, so you know, I'm just sort of, again, just testing everything out with the next few weeks in mind as well. But yeah, mainly for technique, I suppose, is the reason for doing that.
On that point, Justin, how often do you change your wedges? Because I think the amateurs wouldn't realise just how many times you guys do change those particular clubs. Not all clubs, but certainly the wedges.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously if you don't, I think it's really nice if you can find a wedge that is off the rack, do you know what I mean? And you don't have to have a custom grind, because if you have a custom grind, it's very hard to feel like you get one that's exactly the same every time. You know, you're relying on someone's hand and eye. But if you can play something that's off the rack, I mean, I would change my wedges maybe every 4 weeks. I think that'd be pretty realistic.
Rosie, I see Mac is still looking after you there. Is he doing a good job? Is he tremendous support to you? Now's a great time to wind him up on telly.
Yeah, Macca, I mean, he's going greyer, that's for sure. So I think that's probably me. I think I'm the one that's probably harder to look after, but he does an amazing job for me. I think, you know, any time you can have a best mate involved, and they sort of know, you know, they kind of know a little bit of a deeper level what works, what doesn't work, and can support you in a different way. So no, he's an unbelievable asset to the team for sure.
I don't know whether you got in any of the bunkers yesterday, Justin, because it all seemed to be pretty neat and tidy. But what's the sand like?
I'd call it fast sand. You know, that's how I always categorise things. Like I go to a tournament and I'm thinking, oh, this is slow sand, medium sand, fast sand. So, you know, fast sand means there's not a lot of it really. It's quite fine, and the ball kind of comes out with quite a bit of speed. So, yeah, just sort of just getting my touch and feel for that really.
What about coming back to this incredible, iconic venue? There's an awful lot of history here. How special is that? How much do you love this golf course?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I didn't really 100% know what to expect. I haven't been here for a long, long time, and I think I caught what you guys were saying just before you came to me about how it's grown up. And it's actually a really pretty golf course. My mum said the same. You know, she loves her gardens, so she was impressed with the golf course, so that's all that matters. It must have been a pleasant golf course to walk around for her. But yeah, the front line's really picturesque, a lot of little water holes. It's quite narrow, you know. I feel like the scale of the golf course is very small. You know, fairways are small and windy. You know, the distance between the bunkers isn't very much, whereas the new modern golf courses have, you know, like, you know, LA Country Club, for example. Good golf course, I actually enjoyed it, but massive sort of, you know, massive fairways that don't play as big as they are, whereas these are small fairways that, you know, you don't necessarily have to hit every fairway here, because you can somewhat play from the first cut and the edge of the rough, but obviously it definitely helps to be in play.
You made birdie at 10 yesterday, Justin. Have you formed a strategy for that hole this week, or is it day by day and almost how you feel when you step onto the tee there?
I think it's sort of day by day how you feel on the tee, but generally I think if the pins are down the right-hand side, I like the layup. If the pins are somewhat to the left-hand side of the green, that part of the green is steeper, so with a wedge, you'd be more worried about spinning it in the water, and also if you were to miss into the right-hand bunkers or right-hand rough, you have, you know, a chip across the green. So for me, pins left, maybe go for it, pins right, lay it up.
I see you signing a few autographs even before you go out for your round, but it is good to have a tournament with Faldo's involvement. Yeah, it's great to have Faldo's involvement, isn't it? And to actually feel a sort of buzz around the tournament as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think listen, it's nice to see obviously the youngsters out here for sure. You know, I guess it's great for Nick to be involved, just to make sure the next generation of golfers really appreciate what he achieved. Obviously, we all do. You know, all of us talking now, we obviously realise what an amazing achievement and what have you. Everything that he, you know, when you actually walk past all these posters that are all around us, it's actually a good reminder of how incredible he was. So, for him to be involved in this event, hope he can go from strength to strength, and like I said, kind of keep the youngsters really appreciating what he did.
Which golfer was the first autograph that you got, by the way, when you were a nipper?
Payne Stewart threw me a golf ball when I was about 8 years old at an Open Championship, and he sort of threw me a little bullet, actually, and he threw me a little bullet that nearly took my head off. But from that point on, I was always a Payne fan, and sort of full circle for me, you know, I was sort of able to get awarded the Payne Stewart Award in America, actually, and that was kind of a thrilling moment in my career to sort of pay homage to Payne and the journey that I've been on, and obviously what a good guy he was.
Now, Justin, you're popular wherever you play around the world, obviously, but how much fun is it to be back in Britain playing in front of the British galleries, because they obviously love you as well?
Yeah, no, there's always that added extra support for sure, and you know, you do feel them pulling for you, which is fantastic when you're playing well, and you know, they can try to urge you on when you're not playing as well. So no, very thankful for the support, and very much, you know, it feels different over here. I do, like you say, I do get good support wherever I go. I feel like the Americans are nice to me, I would say, but you know, they're never really pulling for you. You know, moments like US Open against Gary Woodland, you know, lots of respect for me, but when you go up against one of their own, they're pulling for one of their own. So it's obviously very nice to be back on home shores.
So you've arrived on the putting green, as we can see, Justin. How long will you spend here, and what are you trying to achieve with this bit of your warm-up routine? What are the feels you're looking for?
So this putting green has given players fits all week. It's been relayed recently, and it's absolutely, there's no point, there's no value trying to make a putt on this putting green. So don't drive yourself crazy is the only thing I'm trying to do right now.
Well, that's good advice, always. Listen, thanks very much for sparing us the time. Great to hear from you, and good luck out there today. We look forward to watching.
Thank you, guys. We'll catch you later, hopefully. Thank you.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.